You probably know I've been looking forward to doing this one a lot. If you can't pick up that sarcasm, just look at my face. Subway has new Thanksgiving sandwiches. In reality, they have three of them. They have a festive chicken, they have a festive turkey, and then one called a Tur-Ham-Kin, which is turkey, ham, and chicken. So you can get all three of those on one sandwich. But when I walked in there, I ordered this on the app. I didn't realize it. You don't have to get any of these sandwiches. You can just add their cranberry sauce and their stuffing to any sandwich on the Subway menu. I didn't do that. I got all three of their new Thanksgiving festive subs or whatever they're calling these things. So that's what we have today, man. Somebody commented yesterday. That's like, oh, don't say that. But this is what we do. If you don't know, like all jokes aside, I'm not the biggest fan of Subway. I'm not saying I don't like anything from there. I just think that like as a sandwich place, they've just really fallen off in quality. But we've been doing Thanksgiving subs every place that I could find them in the last month leading up to Thanksgiving. So I said, why not? So let's take these out and let's get into it. These sandwiches cost $7.99 or $8.29. In fact, I'm just going to put a copy of my receipt up on the screen so you can see what I did. I used the app, which means I got like $3 off of all of that. So it came out to $27.80. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Now, hopefully I remember which one is which. The main draw of these is the cranberry sauce and the stuffing. Other than that, it's everything else that they have on their menu already, which is pretty much standard for a sandwich place. I'm not expecting anything different when it comes to stuff like that. So let's take these out. I got one combo, got some Pepsi Zero Sugar, and the most deflated bag of Miss Vicky's I have ever seen in my life. Like the one at Jersey Mike's, every time has way more in here. I don't know if they got a special deal with Subway to say, hey, we ain't putting none, don't expect none in our chip bags. Now, the only thing that I didn't get, because for some reason, this Subway is always out of spinach. When I went in, they didn't have spinach again, so I didn't get spinach, but all these sandwiches are as is other than that. I know some people say, you take everything off the sandwich. I didn't. The only thing that's not on here is what they didn't offer. Nothing I can do about that, nor do I really care, because I don't really care for their spinach, but either way, this one is the Tur-Ham-Kin, and it has the turkey, the roasted rotisserie chicken, and then the Black Forest ham. And you got the cranberry sauce, mayonnaise, and stuffing. I got this toasted, and I switched the bread. Last time I did their wheat, everybody said, doesn't matter, just get Italian hubs, herbs, and cheese. I agree with you, because it's like the only passable bread that they have here. But where's the stuffing at? Okay, it's on there. It's really... Let's try it, man. I'm being impartial when I say this. I'm trying to clean this up. If you like Subway, it tastes like everything you get from Subway. So I'm only going to talk about two things specifically when it comes to this one. The cranberry sauce and the stovetop. It's not stovetop, but I think it is stovetop stuffing. It's instant stuffing. It's not bad. In that case, you can ask for extra cranberry sauce, but it makes like a cranberry mayo, and you added that stuffing. The stuffing, to me, tastes identical to every place that serves stuffing, besides the one we did at Primo Hoagie's, which was like homemade stuffing. The rest of it all tastes like stovetop. So, with that being said, compared to those, it's not bad. This has the ham, the turkey, and the chicken. I don't hate it. I don't. I honestly think as far as like a cold sub, or in this case, it is toasted, goes, it's probably better than any sub I've had from Subway, not a mid-ball, in a while. It's not bad. Like I said, I am always going to take my bias out of things, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Subway and give credit where it's due. The call with the Italian herbs and cheese, I agree, tenfold better. This is the least stale bread I've had from Subway in a minute. So, do I think this is as good as Arby's, Firehouse Subs, Wawa, Primo Hoagies? No. Why? I think their cold cuts, personally, are the worst cold cuts out of any of those. And I think their bread is probably the worst bread. But this isn't trash. I'm just not a fan of Subway. But if you are and you think Subway makes better sandwiches than any of these places, then be my guest. Price-wise, it's on the cheaper side. Wawa's was about the same. Primo's, Arby's were the two most expensive at over $10. The other ones were under $10. I would personally pick all the other ones over this, but if Subway was the only thing around, I would not sit here and tell you not to get this sub. I got their cheese blend, their Monterey cheese blend, because that was what they said to get on this one, but I did switch the cheese on the other one to see if we can make a little more combo than anything. And I did add a garlic aioli to one of these just to give a little bit of a change up because I wasn't sure if this was just regular turkey and chicken, and I'm pretty sure that's just what it is. Well, on a chain sub scale, this isn't that far behind. It's a 7 on a chain sub scale. It's not bad. And again, if you get their bread and it's not stale, and this isn't, it's not half bad. The problem is most of the time I get it, it is. Next up is the festive turkey. So everything that I said that was on the original sub, but you are taking off the Black Forest ham, you're taking off the chicken, and I added a garlic aioli to this. I also changed, did I change the sauce, the cheese? No, I didn't. I only changed it on one of them. I thought I did. That's my bad. This is just everything. Yeah, it's the same thing. So it's a turkey sandwich. A little cranberry stuffing mayo. I said this at Wawa, and I'm going to say it here too. If you're a fan of garlic, it's an underrated thing to do. Put the garlic aioli on here. That one's better than that one because of simply that. Like, no joke. There's really not much else to this sandwich that's different. Again, I still wouldn't pick Subway, but this isn't bad, man. I also think I would probably change the cheese from that shredded Monterey Jack blend. It doesn't feel like Thanksgiving to me. I would either do the provolone, or I tried pepper jack on this one, but their garlic aioli isn't as good as Wawa's, but it's really not bad either. A lot of people say this, and I agree. If you're gonna do Subway, you gotta like find your sandwich somewhere in there, which for me is usually a mid-ball. I did not get extra or double meat on this, and there's a good amount of meat on here as well. Where's Vicky? She's right here. And this one's worth of Vicky. Not bad. So let's do one more bite. A while ago, they dropped like a spicy sub. I forgot exactly what it was called. And I said, wow, I must have caught him on a good day. I feel the same today. This is the first Subway I've had since that video, which was like somewhere in the beginning of last year, that I'm like, I don't mind this. So, a little higher of a score because of the garlic aioli. 7.5. If I did it again, that would be the version that I got. We did a little bit of difference on this one. I added sub crunch to their festive chicken sub, but same stuff again. The only difference is their festive chicken sub, and I added pepper jack to this one as well as the sub crunch. I just wanted to try different stuff. Pepper jack, garlic aioli, combination isn't bad. To tell you the truth, I think the play, the Tur-Ham-Kin one was $8. I would get the Tur-Ham-Kin. I would do sub crunch, garlic aioli. I would put everything and just put it on one sandwich. And I'd probably add a little extra cranberry sauce to it. But the Subway is being covered up by the stuffing and the cranberry sauce. And I'm cool with that. Again, it's ocean spray or something similar. It's stovetop or something similar. But I'm cool with it. If you have a good Subway and they have bread that's not stale, be my guest. I'm also giving this a 7.5. If you add the garlic aioli, I think you can get this up to like an 8, maybe 8.3. For me, that's not bad. The problem is, near me, Wawa's closer, and that's where I would go over this. You can get a milkshake, and you can call it, but way better than that Fresh Fit one they did and a couple of other ones. I don't think you should ever get any other bread besides Italian herbs and cheese because it's usually the least stale. And that's on me. So I appreciate the input on the last Subway video I did. I try to make some changes. Again, these are as is, just no spinach. They didn't have it, which for whatever reason, they rarely do around here. So far for me, we've done 5 Thanksgiving subs. I'm still going to give the slight edge because of the customization aspect Believe it or not, to the original Gobbler. Whoa. After that, Firehouse. After that, Arby's. Those are all very close. Then it's a little bit of a drop off with Primo. A lot of y'all said I might have gotten a bad location. It's very possible. I may try to find another one before Thanksgiving. There's not that many around here, but I that may very well be the truth. So I'm gonna try to find another location with that one. But right now they're in 4th, and then finally Subway in 5. But I will say, all 5 of them have been pretty good. I expected this one to be far and away the worst, and it's not far and away the worst. Not even close. It just happens to be the worst in a way tighter race than what I expected. So, color me surprised. I'm not mad at it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I hope you guys are enjoying your November. If anybody out there has a little extra, I try not to do like the virtue signaling and stuff, but if you have a little extra that you can give, find a local food bank right now. Right now, there's people out there that are struggling. I've been trying to do my part. Again, I'm not trying to virtue signal and tell people, but I've always tried to do my part with that kind of stuff. I try not to give call to action with that kind of stuff because everybody has their own problems. But if you happen to have a little extra, you happen to have some canned food, you happen to have a little extra cash, you happen to have some extra stuff that you can do, any little bit is going to help. You know, right now there's some people out there that's really trying to find some food and stuff. So there's tons of food banks wherever you are. Just you can look it up on the wherever you live and put food banks near me. A lot of them pop up. You'd be surprised how many there actually are. I'm not trying to, again, this is rarely something that I talk about here, but you know, this I think now we have to find ways as people, if we are doing okay or if you have extra, you know, I always talk about me giving away my food, which I've always tried to do, but I've also tried to give things to food banks and stuff like that. I just don't want to put that kind of stuff on the internet. I just feel like it's pretentious and I don't want to do that, but I've always tried to do my part. And again, if you can, clearly if you can, and you know just help out any way you can, man. Any little bit is a big help. Thanksgiving is a time where, you know, a lot of people tend to have a lot of food, excess and stuff like that, which is what it's kind of been always. But just remember, there's people out there that's looking for food. So, you know, any little bit can help, man. I really appreciate y'all. I know most of y'all out there are good-hearted people, and we all have our own problems that we're dealing with, which I am very aware of. I got my own problems I'm dealing with too, but, you know, if you could just take a little time to help, you know, I thought about trying to organize something. Maybe I will, but I'm at least trying to do my part, and also trying to give awareness to things like that is another way that I can help. So I appreciate y'all for watching, man, and we'll be back tomorrow. More content, man. Hand signs, they made it to YouTube.